Dear Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity once again to come before you and the city to do the best for our city. Lord, we just pray that you are in this meeting and watch out for this meeting. Lord, please help us make the best decision possible. I ask this in your name. Amen. Amen. Let's reflect all council members present. Need an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Richardson.
Second.
Second by Ms. Malcolm. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? That passes. Need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Little.
Second.
Second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Now we'll move into our public forum. We have two people signed up for public comment. You will come to the podium when I call your name. You'll state your name, address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the council. Mitch, all good?
Mitch Alligood, and I live at 322 West Highland Avenue in Monroe. Mayor Thompson and City Council members, my name is Mitch Alligood, and I'm a resident of District 3 and Super District 7. I come before the council tonight to ask your continued support of Public Safety Director Keith Glass. I've known Chief Glass for over 20 years, and I've had the pleasure of teaching all 3 of his daughters. As a resident of Monroe for the last 2 decades, let me attest to the strength and unquestionable character of Chief Glass. He accepted the position of chief in 2002, the 6th person to hold that job in 9 years. During his tenure as Monroe's longest-serving police chief, he has changed that department into a model of service and efficiency. Our city police department is a state-certified agency. These credentials require a level of oversight and transparency that other departments should strive to attain. Our police officers wear body cameras to enhance safety and accountability in all their encounters. The Monroe Police Department has the best equipment available, and our officers get top-notch training that far exceeds the minimum required by state law. Chief Glass has raised the bar on officer expectation. Through Chief Glass's fair and consistent manner with his staff, the citizens of Monroe receive the best public safety services possible. We are lucky to have as our public safety director a man who has been chosen as a past leader in several statewide police organizations, including a term as the president of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. Chief Glass still holds a position as commissioner for the Peace Officers Annuity and Benefit Fund, a position he gained by appointment of Governor Deal. There isn't a person in this room that loves the city of Monroe more than Keith Glass. He truly cares for each and every citizen, no matter race, sex, or social status. He also cares for and appreciates every officer that works for him. He has shed blood, sweat, and tears for this city for 23 years. Tonight, rather than entertaining complaints, we should be here recognizing his accomplishments, such as his agency passing and maintaining its state certification just this past week. 3 years ago, you, the Monroe City Council, put great faith in Chief Glass when you chose him to be Monroe's Public Safety Director, a position where he oversees both the police and fire departments. No small task indeed. I ask that you do now, as you did 3 years ago, and continue your support for Chief Glass, just as he and his officers have always protected and supported the citizens of Monroe. Thank you.
My name is Donna McMullen. I live at 820 Cattle Barn Road, Monroe, Georgia. Everything that is going on here did not have to reach this point. I am a proud citizen of Walton County, Georgia. I've raised my son here from day one. With everything going on, I know that Keith Glass is for our best interest. We do not have to continuously downplay everything that's going on in the media. As a person, he is real. He is in front of us. He is 100% us, Walton County. As you can look around, you will see that there's not just me. There is a whole building here full of supporters for Keith Glass. I stand with him. Sit.
When we move into our public hearing, we have a rezone at 1207 West Spring Street.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. We have petition number 1600233, Monroe LLC, represented by Hal Breedlove, requesting a rezone at 1207 West Spring Street. They're requesting a rezone from a split zoning of B3 and M1 to an overall zoning for the parcel of B3. The property consists of 10.844 acres and has 532.8 feet of road frontage on Breedlove Drive and 255.87 feet of road frontage on West Spring Street. The Code Department recommends approval. Let's see. The requested zoning will permit a use that is suitable in view of the use and development of adjacent and nearby properties. The change of zoning will not adversely affect the existing and adjacent properties. Subject property does have restricted economic use as currently zoned. The change of zoning will not cause an excessive or burdensome use of existing streets, transportation facilities, utilities, or schools. The future land use plan indicates the property should be commercial/retail. The recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission is also for approval, and this is more of a cleanup of our zoning map than anything else. It's pursuant to the desire of the stated desire of the zoning ordinance to remove historically zoned M1 zoning from areas that are inappropriate for that zoning classification, such as our corridors. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, applicant here.
Hello, I'm Hal Breedlove, owner of the Big Lots Shopping Center on West Spring Street. At Patrick's recommendation, I'm here to rezone the property to one zoning. It's currently and has been zoned since it was built in the 70s in a split format, which is odd. But when the city rewrote the code ordinance, the zoning code and ordinance, you had a cumulative zoning rule, meaning that in M1 you could build B3. Well, today that's not true because of the recast of the code. So I'm here to just clean up matters, go all B3. All my uses today are B3. All my planned uses are going to be B3. So I just ask for your consideration of making a blanket B3 throughout the property. Any questions?
Any questions? Okay. If needed, I'll call you back.
Okay.
Anybody else like to speak for this rezone? Anyone in the audience like to speak against this rezone? Not to close this matter and bring it to the council. Make a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Reese, second by Mr. Adcock. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Move into new business under the monthly department reports. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the Code Department report for this month. It covers the time period of May 1 to May 31 this year. Just some of the highlights from the report, so it's not really too long. Code inspections, we had 33, 2 sewer tap inspections, a total of 36 permits written in that time frame. Under new businesses, we had 11, including the Burger King open during that time frame. We had 8 businesses that closed. Major projects that were going on at that time were Walton Behavioral Health Hospital and Burger King, which obviously has been completed. We continued receiving receipts for payment of business licenses during that time frame, receiving and processing claims for review, scheduling inspections, scheduling planning, zoning, and historic preservation meetings, taking and recording complaints, researching zoning inquiries, responding to online inquiries, and cleaning up expired permits. The city marshal patrolled the city daily, removed 32 signs from the roadway, wrote 119 repair cleanup orders, did re-inspections on those, investigated 4 tampering and theft cases, issuing 6 citations. We represented the city in the municipal court and made contact with 13 businesses with overdue business licenses. Historic Preservation Commission didn't meet in that time frame. The Planning Commission had 1 request for a zoning variance at 116 Walton Street. They recommended approval, and it has since been approved. If you have any questions on the balance of the report, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Electric telecom, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Sold a little over 10.5 million kilowatt hours in the month reflected, which is about average. One thing I would like to point out is our loss is still below 4%, which is about half what it was 3 years ago. We've been doing a lot of good work, replacing the copper with electric and getting all those connectors tight, and that reflects on the budget. Did a little 2.2 gig per second to the CMTS, which is to the cable loads, which continues to rise. We increased that capacity, and next month we'll come to y'all to ask to increase that capacity again. Of that, a little over 1 gig went to Cogent, and 1.6 gig went to the internet tie. So we still have capacity on that side. It's just we've got to be able to get it out to the modems a little faster. We are still continuing to pull wire on Charlotte Route. We should have that energized in the next week or so. Hopefully there'll be something building out there soon and selling some power. Vegetation contractor still on Highway 11 North. Since I did this report, the pole inspection contractor is here, and he is in the Green Acres area also doing the annual pole inspection. They'll do the North Broad area and back around down Walton Road this year. We will be designing over this next month a lighting package for the Charlotte Route Parkway, mainly doing the intersections and how the road goes down on low spot. It's real dark down there at night. So we'll be setting up a lighting package, and I'll have that to you next month. We did have money in that project, and it is set aside for that. And I'll take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you.
My name.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I get into the report, just a couple quick things since we have a sizable audience here tonight. One of the things that we hear a lot about is missing bills, utility bills, from the post office. That's kind of a common complaint. But we do offer an alternative. Save a tree, go paperless. You can sign up for this online. We've got the instructions just outside the door. Here's the agenda. You can still get a paper bill, but also get an email alert, and you can pay your bill online, no additional fee. Okay, so that's an option out there. We also have our call center. We have customer service hotline 770-267-3429. If you have any utility issues, cable, internet, please call that immediately so that we can roll trucks to the site immediately, and we know exactly what that problem is. If we don't know about it, then we can't be proactive in fixing those issues. And it all starts with you calling in to our customer service department, either here or we have an after-hours call. And for that, I'll just move on into the financial report. You have before you on the agenda in the packet just our performance metrics. Basically everything is stable as far as our utility customer counts, work orders, things of that nature. Everything is pretty stable from month to month. Just hitting the highlights here of the financial status report as we go through. Cash is in a good position right now. We're about where we should be for this time of year, looking at May 31st of this year. General fund checking is at $1.4 million. We haven't had to tap the stabilization fund, which is in the general fund. That's a good thing. We'll probably get into that as we draw the general fund down later in the year. All the other cash balances are where they should be. General fund revenue is exceeding the expenses for the year. 43% over 37%, right where we want to be, keeping those expenses down. Utilities, seeing much the same, 43% revenue versus 33.5% expenses, keeping those down. We do have some projects coming up that will increase those costs as we go through the year. Kind of getting in that season where we will see that increase, but for right now, things are looking good. Solid waste, same footing as well, 40% revenue over 33% expenses. Danny's running a tight ship over there, very little in delinquent billings currently. SPLOST is down a little bit. It's just the nature of the economy, I guess. It's pulled back just a little bit on some of our receipts. But overall, we have a very decent cash balance to continue with some of our projects. Other than that, I'll take any other questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Logan. Fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I want to take a personal liberty, if you don't mind, but I I'm very humbled and appreciative of the folks that come here tonight. So, thank you. Fire department had 181 calls for service, 184 calls to the fire department. 12 of those calls were related to fire, 111 related to EMS type things. As I'm accustomed to doing, it's so great to have those guys, and I can't say ladies because we don't have ladies working for the fire department at this time, but their level of training and expertise and their ability to get to you sometimes several moments, up to maybe 10 or 15 minutes before an ambulance and a paramedic does can mean the difference of you surviving a stroke or you surviving a heart attack or some other major bleeding event or a physical event. So real proud of those guys. They conducted 333 hours of training. As we've been since the beginning, we've been pretty good partners with the Boys and Girls Club, and this week we had a great event with them. They're having their summer camp program, and officers and firefighters got to spend time there. And we're going to try to provide, if time allows, I got to talk to Assistant Chief Owens, but kind of let them have that shower from the ladder truck that they got. They really enjoyed that, and I think I got the bulk of the water. But that was a great event. Pending your questions.
Moving into police department.
Police department had 3,504 calls for service, 1,620 calls to the police department, 152 cases in city court, conducted 348 hours of training, had a total of 83 Part 1 crimes, total of 194 Part 2 crimes, arrested 108 adults and 8 juveniles. As mentioned earlier, we did complete the on-site assessment for state certification. That's 100+ standards that we have to meet as an agency. Real proud of the outcome there, and probably in August they'll certification folks will be here to make a presentation of the plaque to the city and police department for that training. And that's you. Pending your question.
Thank you, Chief. Solid waste.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our tonnage trending a little about 400 tons for garbage collected for the month of May. We collected 116 tons of recycling material. Only other highlight is we collected over 217 scrap tires, over 4 tons at curbside for the month of May. And the only other thing I have is that we're running our holiday route this week. Tuesdays and Wednesday customers will be picked up tomorrow, and Thursday customers will be serviced on Thursday. We'll be back on schedule. Any other questions? I'm glad to answer.
Thank you, Danny. Streets and transportation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Highlighting the report for the month of May, on the admin side, we rented out the community building 11 times. Our fleet maintenance division completed 80 units of work through the month of May. Our grounds division and our newly constructed right-of-way crew have made several rounds through the city, picking up litter, cutting our city-owned facilities. This rain that we've been getting is helping the green up. Maybe we'll get a little bit more growth. They went for a little while they was picking up more paper than they were cutting grass due to the dryness. But they are doing a really good job in improving the aesthetics of our cities, especially on the right-of-ways. Our street division completed a right-of-way maintenance section of on Poplar Street. Dressed that up, made it look really good. Replaced some damaged stormwater structures on Mayfield. Continuing to work on our sidewalk project on East Church. We've recently completed the infrastructure part or the drainage, stormwater drainage system around the Tall Oaks area. It'll probably be formed up and paved by the end of the week, weather permitting. Once we get past that last obstacle, we'll be able to get as far as we want to get toward the city limits in a short amount of time from there. Moving into the sign and marketing division, completed 59 units of work there and 52 completed work orders in our building maintenance division, and I'll be glad to entertain any questions.
Just a comment, the right-of-ways do look a whole lot better than they've looked in a long time, so tell that crew they're doing a good job.
Thank you, I will.
Water, sewer, gas, and stormwater, right?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As far as the water treatment plant, we produced 75 million gallons of water, averages out to 2.4 million gallons a day. Water distribution, we had 63 service calls, 19 after-hour emergency calls, 25 leaks repaired, and installed 4 new services. And the wastewater treatment, we treated 47 million gallons of sewage, 1.5 million gallons a day. Sewer collection, we had 7 service calls, 3 after-hour emergency calls. Natural gas division, we sold 18,035 MCFs of gas with 24 service calls, 6 leak calls, and 6 new services. And at the training facility, we held 14 classes with 44 in attendance. Any questions on the, we'll have an answer.
Okay, thank you, Doug.
Thanks.
That concludes our department reports. Next item is the approval of the CHIP grant administrative services. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have before you an agenda item for the CHIP Grant Administrative Services. If you'll remember, a little while back, we applied for the CHIP grant, which is the Community Home Improvement Program, administered through the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. This is just for approval of grant specialists of Georgia to administer the CHIP grant. $6,000 is the cost that comes out of the CHIP grant award. We have been awarded that. We were informed on May 24th that the city was awarded that grant. So at this time, we're asking for a recommendation to approve grant specialists of Georgia to administer the CHIP grant.
Okay. Any questions? Not, we'll entertain a motion to accept the CHIP grant.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Malcolm,
Second.
second by Ms. Garrett. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 3 is the approval of the building inspection services. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The code department is requesting approval to hire Bureau Veritas North America to perform residential and commercial plan reviews and inspections on an as-needed basis in the event that the building department gets to the point that they need those services. Right now, we have personnel enough to handle what's going on in the city, but we do anticipate a pretty good influx of development, and want to use these people in order to get through the ebb and flow of that development curve. Bureau Veritas put in a bid to require 67% of the fees collected to handle inspections versus Charles Abbott at 80%. So we're looking to go with Bureau Veritas on this. And I just wanted to say, Chris Bailey and Logan Probst, they were very instrumental, actually, almost handed it to me on this RFP, so I wanted to give them a lot of credit for putting this together with me and allow me to bring it before the council for a vote. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Patrick, I know we've talked about doing additional inspections on rental properties when it becomes vacant. Is this person going to do that, or is this just for new construction?
No, this is going to be just for new construction. We'll still want to fill that property maintenance inspector position in September.
So if we fill that position, to add another staff member on the property inspections, we still, you think, have a need for this on a contract basis?
It really depends on the level of development, but this is just to make sure that the level of service doesn't suffer if the development level spikes.
This is only on the as-needed
basis. Like, if it's just going to be where we can't handle the influx of the development, we utilize their services until that peak.
And we only pay them for the building, a percentage of the building permit fee for that one particular thing that they're planning to be
Yes,
inspected.
we'll assign projects to them, and they'll go from beginning to end for that project for 67% of fees collected.
Any more questions? Did I hear you now? We need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Curtis. Second by Mr. Adcock. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 4 is the C-Click Fix application annual contract.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We don't need any action from you, just kind of a general direction. I know this was a topic of discussion last year during our budget retreat about C-Click Fix and our utilization of it. It's coming up for renewal next month. It's a relatively small contract. It's going up about 5% to $5,512. We're just not seeing the utilization that we expected over a course of 2 years now into this. And, ordinarily this is something that staff will just handle, but I know many of you, had strong opinions about C-Click Fix, and wanted to see how it would go for, several more months. So this is just kind of back for a little bit of brief council discussion, see how you want to proceed. An alternative to C-Click Fix could be just handling this through the call center, through a fix-it hotline that we can establish. And also we're looking at potentially using Hyperweb, which is already used by water, sewer, gas. And there's a similar add-on feature that's a little bit cheaper that we could use there. It works much in the same way as C-Click Fix, just a little bit more integrated with our utilities departments. And I'll just leave that up for discussion. If you have anything.
Mayor, I've long been an advocate of C-Click Fix, and so I would hope that staff would continue with that program. But I understand the utilization side of it, but I've long been an advocate of citizen involvement and citizen engagement and things getting fixed. And C-Click Fix gives the opportunity for citizens all across the city to notice things that need to be repaired or need to be done, and just stop with their smartphone, take a picture of it, and then it goes for follow-up. I understand the low utilization, but I think that part of that may be that perhaps we could do a better job getting the word out to the community of ways to use it. I don't think that's been done as effectively over the last couple of years as it could be. Secondly, and I'm not criticizing performance, I don't know that we've done follow-up on these as people have reported them to encourage people to continue to do them as well as they could. So I'm a huge advocate in it. I was in a meeting last week with people around the state, and I brought up the fact that we had C-Click Fix, and all the other cities say, we're going to go back and try to get this now because people really think it's a great idea. I think the call center with telephone calls, while some people, as we all know, will call us or call the city with things that need to be done, and that should continue, but particularly younger people today, they don't use the telephone as much as they use the smartphone. So in order to get all complete citizen engagement, I strongly recommend that you do keep this as opposed to your recommendation to discontinue the contract.
Well, Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, the other option is another app done through ECG and through the Hyperweb. There would be the same similar thing with ECG, as C-Click Fix, but with automatically integrating our work order system. Instead of having to have someone watch C-Click Fix, and then create a work order, this other, if we're ready, right, we're going to meet with these people again tomorrow. Once somebody did that, it would automatically generate a work order instead of someone having to manually look at it. And I think that might be a better path.
And if that works, that's fine. As long as the person, what I like about this is you see a auto.
Yes, sir.
You pull out your phone, take a picture of it, the GPS tells you where it is.
It would be,
you don't have to do anything.
I think if
it does the same thing.
Yes, sir. I think it would do the same thing, but it would be fully integrated instead of something maybe slipping through the cracks as you got a manual step. It would just be fully integrated and automatic. And cheaper.
When's the contract come up?
Mid-August.
So we've got some time to get some more information on this before we have to make a decision. I think just from general discussion, I think most of the council would like some kind of citizen interaction where they don't have to stop, look up the number and call City Hall and report something that needs to be done. So I think we need to get some information on that. Thank you.
And I think at the same time, you need to designate some marketing dollars put it out there, whether it's banners or whether it's billboards, and do a big blast all over. Because I think probably this audience may not have ever heard of C-Click Fix. And, you know, the more we can advertise it and encourage the use, the better.
Okay, any more comments? All right. Item number 5 is approval of the 2016 LMIG project, Michael Exon Road. You gonna take that?
I will, thank you, Mayor. This is basically, I'm asking, seeking approval to allow Walton County Public Works to pave a 1.5-mile portion of Michael Exon Road from Ammons Bridge to, if you were about where the George Walton property starts, actually where the city limits starts. If you were coming off of McDaniel and make a right, it's a few hundred feet. Then there's a seam in the road, and from there to 138 has been paved since. From there to Ammons Bridge has been paved, and it's in really good condition. Michael Exon Road is on the city's 2016 LMIG project list as well as Walton County's, and they have offered to provide all the equipment cost, all of the labor, all of the hauling fees, if we will agree to pay for 50% of the material. Depending on where you're at on that road is going to determine if you're in county or if you're in the city. Doing the numbers, it's a win-win for us. It's going to be, I really think there's probably more now that we've annexed some of that stuff at the end of Michael Exon Inn. I believe there's probably more square footage of Michael Exon in the city than there is in the county. But they've offered that package to us if we will agree to pay 50% of the material. Estimated, and it is a very rough estimate, at about $112,000, and that is from the LMIG line item as well as some SPOS funds in that. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them the best I can.
Is the 112 our cost or that's the combined cost?
The 112 is going to be our cost.
Through the grant.
Well, it's through the LMIG funding as well as SPOS.
Yeah, through LMIG funding. Yeah. Mayor, as Chairman of Public Works, Steele and I discussed this, and I think it's a great opportunity for us here. I think it's a good example of how the city and county can work together for the good of the whole citizenry. And with that, I'll make a motion that this be approved.
We have a motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Richardson. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 6, approval of the natural gas main replacement. Right.
Thank you, Mayor. Seeking approval to hire Harrison contractor to replace 1,600 foot of 2-inch steel gas main on Perry and Lodge Street. This area was a recent leak survey, had some low readings, low CP readings, and through some extra investigation, we determined that the pipe no longer, we can't get the readings high enough. So we're asking to replace that. We got 3 bids. Harrison being a low bid of $37,350.
Okay. Any questions?
I got a question, man. Is that a project that y'all been working on Perry Street?
We just did Carver Drive and
Green?
what's the other street?
Green, I think.
Yeah, we just finished those 2 up.
Okay.
Any more questions? Hearing none, need a motion.
Move to approve the acceptance of the low bid from Harrison & Harrison for the replacement of the gas main.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Little, second by Mr. Purvis. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 7, water main extension.
Thank you again, Mayor. Seeking approval to purchase material and supplies from Consolidated Pipe and Supply in the amount of $92,194.33. This is to install a 8-inch water main along Jim Dawes Road and also Mount Creek Church Road. This would close in 2 gaps that we have in our system. We have to get the water from Granite Road over to 78, and also over to Highway 83. 83, 78, and Granite Road all have 10-inch water mains. The main feeds out to the county. We just need to loop them. So this would help with our pressure issues that we're experiencing. And all 3 bids are attached as well.
Okay, any questions? Need a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Little.
Second.
Second by Mr. Edcott. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 8 is approval of the hiring water personnel.
Thank you again, Mayor. This is an item that was brought up at the last month's meeting that you asked me to bring back this month. Attached the letters again from the state. There's 2 of those. And also the job description for the 2 new positions, one being a leak detection technician, other one being a field service specialist. Both of these are water positions. The first EPD letter was the letter from Linda McGregor about the water audits and developing a water loss program. The water loss program was due July 1st. That's been completed. And then also the letter from state from the sanitary survey that was done last year from the EPD that stated that we were understaffed in our water department in order to meet the new demands with the water loss program and the water audits. We feel like these are 2 positions that would take care of those.
Mayor, one thing I might ask the council as it considers, you may want to consider both of these the next items together too, because we want to present to you how we think we can pay for it. And if you accept the logic of the budget amendment, then that would allow you to activate the hiring of water personnel. So I'd ask you, unless you have questions on this one, let us move into tell you how we would pay for it. And then if that is acceptable, then we can go back and take action on one at a time.
Well, I think we need to know how we're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But Logan.
All right, just going off what Rodney said, we have water loss, high amount of water loss. Filling these 2 positions is going to help bring that down into acceptable state standards and hopefully far exceed those standards. So in doing so, we anticipate that the additional revenues that we get from stopping this water loss throughout the city will more than offset the cost of the employees that he's asking for. So the budget amendment is essentially to take it from the additional revenues as we move along through the year. We don't specifically have any other funding source per se for fund new personnel from some of the other operating lines. So we anticipate it to come from additional revenues and savings from the water loss program.
Any questions for Logan?
As we look at the water budget now, it is projected to have a excess as of the end of the year as it stands now, right? This
Correct.
would only add to it.
Correct.
So, okay, yeah.
Any other questions? Or if not, we'll go back and do number 8. I need a motion for the hiring of the water personnel.
I'll make that motion that we approve this additional thing. I think that as a city, we've long have been very proud of our water department and all the inspections the state does as far as the quality of our water. Now that they say we need to do some staffing things for the loss thing, we need to fully comply with that and appreciate what we have. So I move approval on this.
Motion by Mr. Bradley.
Second.
Second by Mr. Little. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 9, need a motion for the budget amendment for the water personnel.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Edcott.
Second.
Second by Ms. Mallory. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Item number 10, purchase of the CAP 1000.
Yes, sir. If you look at the background here, I've sent out several emails on this situation. Our current CAP 1000 takes content from the content providers, grooms it, builds it into small slices, and sends it over to another device, an edge clone, and sends it out to the customers. Well, the current CAP 1000 was designed and built for a certain amount of input. Well, the providers have stuffed as many more channels than when we first started this project. So what that's done is we were taking those channels into the CAP and then deleting them off, but it's still overloading the input of the existing CAP. So we spent the last couple of weeks with Aris, who is the provider or the company that builds the apexes and the caps. My staff, me, and some of the Aris engineers sat down and came up with the best cost-effective solution to fix this issue. And the cost-effective solution, there were two. You could go with a 10 gig cap, or you could go with a separate 1 gig cap. And we felt that the most cost-effective solution was to go with another 1 gig cap instead of going with a 10 gig. What this will allow us to do is to fully groom every channel that comes in, every existing channel we have, and also give us the capacity to add some more HD channels that we've been wanting to add, especially AMC is the biggest one I get asked for every month. I think it's The Walking Dead is the big pull on that one. It's in SD, nobody likes me because of that, so I want to get that in HD. And the golf channel is another one. But several others, any channel we can get without any more cost, that's what we want to put. We want to be able to get that out to the system. It's been an ongoing issue. We barely caught it because these errors build up slowly. And it doesn't show, it doesn't throw alerts, it doesn't throw alarms until it's too late. And then it starts, the apexes start acting crazy. We put out 3 requests for quote. AMT was the low quote at $27,800. This will come from project money. It will come from the IP conversion and the DOCSIS 3 conversion project. More than likely just the IP conversion, since it is a low amount of money. And I'll take any questions you may have.
With all that technical side, what this really means is on cable TV, it won't be breaking up anymore.
It was going to be less.
Okay.
Never going to say never, it's less. I promise you it would be less. But this gets us a little further down the road and gets us more capacity to sort of push that down, Mr. Bradley.
And this option does give us some expansion
It gives us some
possibility.
expansion that we don't have right now. We haven't been able to add the HD channels that we want because we didn't have the expansion capability.
Is it really within the realm of our foreseeable expansion? I mean, it's why we're not going with a 10 gig as opposed.
I think by the time we really would need the 10 gig, we would be an IP. We would be an IP system. Or most of these channels right now, this is going to be a little more technical, are an MPEG-2, which has more information in it. By the time we need the 10 gig, they will be an MP4, which is more, it's compressed more, and you'll have more space to work with.
I have a question of the citizen. Can I ask a question?
No, sorry. This is closed now. Any more questions from council? This will alleviate some of the problems with TV, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, need a motion to purchase the CAP 1000.
I make that motion and purchase it from Advanced Media Technologies for the low bid price of $27,800.
Have a motion by Mr. Lewis.
Second.
Second by Mr. Carter. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Item number 11 is approval of Broad River Table of Charges.
Thank you, Mayor. Broad River, as most of you know, is our wholesale dial tone provider. They were purchased by Appia, which is out of the Midwest. They're another dial tone provider. when that happened, myself and some of my staff and our main telecom sales agent went to their new location up in Atlanta and met with them, and then we started negotiating a new table of charges because Appia has a different, they wanted to get everything consolidated. They didn't want different levels of charges to all the different businesses they did, which actually worked out well for us. They've lowered our per phone line cost, which will allow us to hold our prices where they're at instead of looking toward any increases, and allow us to still be lower in the marketplace. And I'll take any questions you may have.
Okay, no questions, need a motion on the Broad River table of charges.
I'll make that motion to approve the Broad River table of charges, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Adcock.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lewis. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
Item number 12, first reading of property taxes, section 90-33 ordinance amendment.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 90, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Monroe, Georgia, to allow the County Tax Commissioner to prepare mail tax bills and for collection of taxes by the County Tax Commissioner and for other purposes. The Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe hereby ordain as follows. Article 1, Chapter 90, Article 2, Section 90-33 of the Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by deleting said section in its entirety and replacing with the following in lieu thereof. Section 90-33, billing, due date of taxes, authority to extend. Within 45 days after the levy by the Mayor and City Council, the clerk shall authorize the County Tax Commissioner to prepare and mail tax bills to all taxpayers. Ad valorem taxes shall be due and payable by the date set by the County Tax Commissioner for each taxable year, provided, however, in no event shall taxes be due or payable on or before 60 days after the date bills are mailed by the County Tax Commissioner. Article 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Article 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe, Georgia. This constitutes the first reading, Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 13, first reading of property taxes, section 90-35 ordinance amendment.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 90, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Monroe, Georgia, to allow the County Tax Commissioner to assess penalty and interest on delinquent taxes and for other purposes. The Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe hereby ordain as follows. Article 1, Chapter 90, Article 2, Section 90-35 of the Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by deleting said section in its entirety and replacing with the following in lieu thereof. Section 90-35, penalty and interest. The City Clerk shall assess or authorize the Tax Commissioner to assess a penalty of 10% on all taxes unpaid on the due date and shall collect interest thereon at the rate of 1% per month until paid. Article 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Article 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe, Georgia. This constitutes the first reading, Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 14, first reading of property taxes, section 90-36 ordinance amendment.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance to amend Chapter 90, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Monroe, Georgia, to allow the County Tax Commissioner to collect delinquent taxes and for other purposes. The Mayor and the Council of the City of Monroe hereby ordain as follows. Article 1, Chapter 90, Article 2, Section 90-36 of the Code of Ordinances is hereby amended by deleting said section in its entirety and replacing with the following in lieu thereof. Section 90-36, collection of delinquent taxes, fees, or other revenue and interest. Sub A, for the collection of delinquent taxes, a FIFA shall be issued by the City Clerk or the County Tax Commissioner and executed under the procedure provided by state law governing execution of process from the Superior Court or by use of any other available process and remedies. Sub B, a lien shall exist against all property on which city property taxes are levied as of the assessment date of January 1 of each year, which shall be superior to all other liens except that it shall have equal dignity with those for federal, state, or county taxes. Sub C, the amount due on all delinquent FIFAs issued under subsection A of this section, as well as any interest or penalty thereon, shall be listed as a part of and in addition to the annual ad valorem tax bill. Sub D, any license, privilege, or permit granted by the city shall be revoked by the city clerk for failure to pay any money due the city for taxes, fees, penalties, interest, fines, or other revenue within 3 calendar months and 10 days after any payment is due, provided that any person aggrieved by the order may, within 10 days thereof, appeal to the Mayor and the City Council, who, after hearing thereon, may approve or modify the order or restore the license, privilege, or permit by adopting a motion to that effect, but only upon finding that the city clerk's action was not factually or legally correct. Sub E, all persons subject to the occupation tax levy pursuant to Article 4 of this chapter shall first, before the issuance of the occupation tax permit required herein, show evidence that all personal property ad valorem taxes due and payable to the City of Monroe and Walton County have been paid. Article 2, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Article 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after its adoption by the mayor and the council of the city of Monroe, Georgia. This constitutes the first reading, Mayor.
That
Mr. Mayor.
concludes our, yes.
Before we adjourn the executive session, could we recognize, we've got some guests with us tonight, I think, that are interns from various colleges in the area that are doing work in the city. I think they're lined up against the wall over here. I don't know what all colleges they're from, but I know they're doing great work throughout the city of Monroe, some for the city and some from the other nonprofit organizations. We appreciate you guys being in Monroe.
Thank you very much. This concludes our regular meeting. We do have a need for an executive session. The council will adjourn this room and go upstairs and meet in my conference room. So we need a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved.
Ms. Malcolm? Second by Ms. Babcock, all in favor? All right. We'll adjourn into executive session.